I accompanied my eldest sister for her dance classes, and I was only 3 years old at that time, and I used to be her chaperone because she was quite a timid girl, and I was supposed to be bold even at that age. And I used to watch her dance, and she was really not very interested in what she was doing. Ultimately, I ended up going to the dance classes and she gave it up. So in reality, I started dancing when I was about 5 years old, and I didn't take it that seriously, but with time maybe, because for me my teacher was very important for me. If I liked my dance teacher, I was prepared to dance well. When I didn't like the teacher, I certainly rebelled. My father was the head of the Sangeeta Natya Academy, and all the, the arts institutions, he was the chairman, like the Royal Asiatic Society, and he used to take me for all these meetings. My mother was a real socialite in Colombo, and she used to trail me along to all her women's functions and make me dance all these film dances I would, just to entertain her guests and her friends. And in the evenings we used to have this session for our family, where I enacted all these dance sequences and the love sequences, all these cinemas, and that was quite a trait in me. I think I was very good at acting. So that actually triggered off my dance career also. The day that I had realized that dance was important for me was when my mother entered me when I was 13 years old to the All Ceylon Dance Festival. I just entered for all the 4 different traditional styles, and lo behold, I won everyone. And that was one of the days that I was really proud of myself, and I never knew that this was the beginning of my dance career, because my father always expected us to be professionals, like either you be an architect or an engineer, and most of all, he wanted me to follow his profession, which he was a dental surgeon. But when I won that All Ceylon Dance Festival was the day I knew how passionately I loved dance. I was this small girl, I was only 14, and I was given they had a drama on one of the hill peaks of in Sri Lanka called the Sripada. It was the story of how this hill became so famous. And I was supposed to be the Apsara who landed and showed the people the place. Because I came first, I was given the solo part. And I danced all alone with all the seniors, around me. And, everybody used to look at me, what is this girl going to prove herself and all that. So, but I still danced. And when the queen came down the staircase, we had to line up and we had to shake her hands. And I'm waiting for her to shake the hand, and I still have the photograph here, but she was wearing a glove. So I was very disappointed that I couldn't even touch her fingers. But she just shook her hands only with the gloves on, and she looked so beautiful. You get up at 4:30 in the morning to go and practice, then you go for your prayer at 7:30, you have your breakfast at 8, and it was such a regimented life. When you learn dance in India, in Kalakshetra, you learn music, you learn Sanskrit, you learn painting, you learn sculpture, you learn how to do dress designing. There are so many applied arts. Then beyond that, we had to do drama too. In fact, Rukmani Devi got Peter Coe from the British Council to come in and do acting. And I was a main part of all the Zen plays that we did then. Her name was Sharda Hoffman, and the other lady was the senior Periya Sharda teacher, very, very well-known teachers. Actually, all the existing Kalakshetra dancers today are their students. So I am very proud to be one of them. And they were very, very, very dedicated, very giving teachers, very strict. But the unfortunate part was my teacher, Sharda teacher, was very, very disciplined. But her motivations were very good. But there were lots of people who never understood her correctly except for me. I used to always really appreciate her, because if precision was my part of my dance, it totally went to her. In the afternoons, I am sent to the secondary school to teach children dance. And then theatre also came in. That's where really I started learning how to train children. And I think my teacher had a lot of confidence in me, and she used to pick me always to go into schools and teach the children. That's where I started teaching them drama. As a teacher, you must know how to get the best out of a student. And I think with God's grace, I have that capacity to get the best out of children, especially children. Lots of people have told me, and sometimes I'm amazed at what my students do. But I think it's just how you handle the child or handle whoever comes to you. Every member of my family understands my needs, and they have always from day one encouraged me. Even as a new bride, I think my in-laws have always supported me with my dance, which I'm always grateful to, from my mother-in-law to my father-in-law to my sisters-in-law, who even stitched costumes, made flowers, made the jewelry, and provided for me as long as I was with them. Of course, my parents were always there. Then beyond that, when I got married, his family always supported me, and that has continued even when I came into Singapore, that my children always never stopped me from what I did. They have always supported me, and I think that is truly my success because I have them supporting me. We came here in 1974, and as I told you, my husband thought that was the best financial opportunity that he got to make his children have more. So I did enjoy that life for 25 years in Singapore. When my husband was asked to go away to America as actually senior manager for the Asia, there I refused. And that, you know what the reason was? My dancing. Because I had become so well placed in my dance career here, I refused to uproot and go. So there too he sacrificed that. He opted to retire, and he started his own company, and he continued. And he has retired now after that. Teaching dance in Singapore was very, very difficult for me at that point of time, in the 70s, because I was a full-time dance teacher. And all the students here came as part-timers. The discipline lacked. Their attitudes were so different that I found it very difficult teaching here. I was devastated for almost 5 to 10 years trying to get myself used to the local system. I think in my dance classes, I do more training for the younger generation and enlighten them on our Indian culture and explain to the children, which is, I think, a very wonderful experience for me, because I am sharing something with the younger generation where even the parents don't know what it's all about. I have even educated the parents because they don't know some of the things which I was fortunate enough to live in India and understand and know the importance of different things which I impart to these children. And I think that's also a wonderful part of the arts, which comes out naturally. And every experience today I impart in Singapore is what I learnt in Kalakshetra. And I think I was one of the few individuals who had a lot of opportunities to do things. Everybody tells me, how do you come up with so much of finesse in your costumes and your accessories? I think that's what I learned from there. I always see what we could produce for the theme, and it's from there that I travel to props and costumes. And since it's a multiracial combination, we have to be very careful that we all match each other. Now, if you talk about Indianness, now this was created, it took us months to do this. Build up on something so that it looks very enhanced, so that it can be seen on the street from a long distance. In fact, if you notice this also, these are the latest Indian jewelries that you get from India. This was specially bought out from India, and since they are supposed to be the moon, even this was done there. We have costume designers who design things for us, and the people who work, like for instance these children who follow what I say also, and the costume department, gives us a great hand in bringing in beautiful things that they have seen, not only in Singapore, but from places like Thailand, Indonesia, so that what you see today, I don't think other Indian dancers wear in Singapore, because it's a combination of so many countries' jewelry together to put in something that is unique and special for Chingay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, freeze! Here in Apsaras Arts, I have taken the trouble to feature my life as well as the life of all my young students and my students who have grown up with me. I start today with a photograph of myself. When I started dancing, I was 4 years old and I enjoyed every bit of it. I started it as a hobby, and today I have traveled 32 years in Singapore teaching dancing, and today Apsaras Arts has become a performing dance company, which I am very, very proud of. Starting from here, these are my oldest students, and this is a group of students who really won the Singapore Arts Festival coveted prize for me for the first time as Apsaras, when we won the first prize at the Singapore Arts Festival. Traveling from there, my mega production under People's Association and the National Arts Council, the first Indian musical that was called Kannagi, where we had 3 international artists doing the major roles, Anita Ratnam as Kannagi, and we had all the Singaporean artists accompanying us, Chinese, Malay and Indians for the orchestra. I think this is one of my best productions I have done in Singapore. I can't think of anything better because I enjoyed every moment of it.
Are there no brave women here? Are there no women with courage to stand up and fight if their husbands are unjustly accused? Where are the brave women here? Where are they? Tell me. Tell me. Yes, Kannagi Tera. Yes, Kannagi Tera. Yes, Kannagi Tera. Yes, Kannagi Tera.
Then we have other productions that we have done, another mega productions that is very mythological, where we have done Arupadai, which was very well accepted and it still is being performed after 10 years. Then we have, of course, the famous mother and daughter performance. It was done for Mother's Day, where in this picture you can see the mothers and daughters. In fact, this is the second generation of dancers, students of my students who also came for the performance, and they were very happy because we had 2 generations of dancers there. One of the most memorable events in my artistic journey, my husband and I both celebrated 50 years of dance training all over the world, from Sri Lanka to India to Singapore. And this culminated in a performance that was held called Chidambara Rahasyam, where all my students felicitated both of us and they performed for us excellently under this banner of Apsaras Arts Limited. My next production is going to be Sivagami. Now this is a mega production as far as I am concerned, because I visualized it in a totally different manner, where I did research for almost 2 years before I went on to this project. Sivagami is about a story about a dancer who brought 2 dynasties together by her dance. That's why we chose that. I have done so many presentations before I went to do this as to enlighten people on who Sivagami is and why we chose this production. As you can see here, all the artists have been painted by an artist from India, and actually even the scenes have been also been projected here, because we have to see that everything comes to life on stage. The research work has been tremendous. because this is only a 2.5-hour production about a story in the 6th century that went on for quite some time. Even the stage setting has to be done very uniquely, because we can't bring old theatre that is in the 40s to the present times when we are in the 2000 centuries. Considering I have been in the arts for 50 years, anybody would say that you must have been happy to have continued for 50 years. But that's a great question, in the sense there have been many, many months and many, many days of total depression because you can't get your funding, because the people under you don't follow your instructions, the dancers are indisciplined. So you have to fight against so many odds to be happy. But overall, I think after you fight all these battles, you come to a point that you have achieved something, and then you move on from there. So you call that part of it a happy experience. But no artist can be a happy artist. I don't think anybody would say I'm totally happy. You're totally happy because you're passionate towards the cause. That is the reason of being a totally happy artist. But I don't think any artist is ever totally happy.